What's good, what's good, what's good? Welcome back to the BagTalk podcast. I'm your host, of course, Jay Rose. And we about to get back into this hoop talk, of course. I want you to hit me with a little, what move do I want? Let me get it between the legs, stutter spin into the fadeaway on that sub button. You feel me? We need to get these subs up. If you like the video, make sure you like the video. We got daily content on Instagram and TikTok. Make sure you go follow those. I'd like to put the links in the description, but YouTube is being a little iffy right now. I'm going to get those there as soon as I can. But let's get into these hoops, man. Both conference final series are down 3-0. That's crazy to me. I feel like there was a lot of anticipation going into these conference finals, and to see that both of these series are pretty lopsided right now, especially in Boston's case, is kind of insane. And I want to start there because Boston was seen coming into this playoffs as one or two. That's it. They were seen as the best team or the second best team and nothing less. Philly was seen as a third kind of branch off, maybe not as good as the Bucks and Celtics, but to see that the Heat took them both out is incredible. But I would like to add that the Celtics are melting down. I'm watching the Celtics melt down in real time. Jason Tatum has looked less than stellar in the fourth quarter in every single game. I'm expecting him to come back a game after that and turn up the intensity, and he seems to do even worse. Today's game, he had 14 points. If there's one thing you can't say about the rest of the series is that Jason Tatum did not at least play well. He played well in the other two games. He had 14 tonight. And you're going to ask yourself, well, what did the rest of the team do? What did his co-star do? Jaylen Brown, 12 points. 12 points. This is a very, very sad series for the Boston Celtics. It just is. I genuinely believe that this series could have some serious implications on this roster, and they might not come back looking the same next year, which sucks because I really do like the way this roster is formed. I think they have everything they need. They have two co-stars. They have the bench. They have the depth. They have the defense. They got the shooting. They have everything. There's nothing that this team is really missing. So to see them down right now, 3-0, about to get swept, and regardless of if they get swept or not, they're done. I don't see them coming back from down 3-0, especially the way that they're playing. To see them go out like this is sad. It just is. I feel like more likely than not, Jaylen Brown might get shipped out. If they're ending in the conference finals and they're getting swept by the Miami Heat, who were not even seen to be a threat at all. Even by the time that they beat Milwaukee, beat New York, and came into this series, do you understand that the odds were so heavily favored for Boston? So to see Miami in front like this is incredible for Miami and very disappointing from Boston. So we're going to look on the other side and talk about how Miami is doing, because they deserve a world of credit, man. This team is very funny. When you look at their roster makeup, you see a bunch of undrafted guys, you see a bunch of G League guys, and they're coming out, and Gabe Vincent just gave you 29 tonight. That's an incredible performance, and to see that they can win when Jimmy is shooting 5 for 13 and only having 16 points is incredible. Their role players stepped up huge tonight. Their role players absolutely stepped up tonight, as they have been the entire playoff run for the Heat. They've really been turning it on. Caleb Martin turned it on. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, they've all been playing very good basketball. Duncan Robinson as well. That cannot go understated. Duncan Robinson was getting coaches' DNPs for a very long time. Duncan Robinson was not getting any love, and he's been hooping. He's been getting PT. He's been playing defense. He's been scoring. I'm really happy for Duncan Robinson. This is like a resurgence for him. And like, this is really a Cinderella story. Nobody expected them to be here. I really don't even believe that they thought themselves that they were going to be here, but they got that dog in them, and ever since they won that Bucks series, they've walked with a new swagger, and I like the way that they're looking right now. I think that they can really win it all. I think that this Nuggets versus Heat series will be close if they continue to play this well. I'm not sure if they will, but if they do, we'll be in for something real nice in the finals. Shout out to the Heat, man, because this is one of the most historic and incredible playoff runs I've ever seen in my life. This is really a Cinderella story and one for the books. Win or lose come finals time, this is a crazy run. Some people are saying it's on the level of Dirk. I don't know about that, man. Dirk who'd he beat? KD, Kobe, and Bron? That's too tough. I'm sorry. But it's up there. It's definitely up there. The other conference finals matchup, of course, being LA versus Denver. Now, this one is very interesting to look at. I really thought Los Angeles would put up more of a fight. And to be honest, if I'm being real, they have been putting up a fight. None of these games have been blowouts. They haven't been getting dogged the entire time. They're in these games. They could close them out. But the way that Denver is really just punching them in the neck down the stretch and doing everything to absolute perfection, The Lakers just can't keep up with that. The Lakers are a very sloppy team down the stretch. They make a lot of mistakes, but sometimes they'll pull it out. Against a team like Denver, who's really on their P's and Q's the entire crunch time, you have to be attentive, and they haven't really been doing that. Denver's been capitalizing on a lot of things that the Lakers have been doing, and you know what? A lot of this just comes down to who's hitting shots and who's not, who's making an impact and who's not. Jamal Murray has absolutely been making an impact. Jamal Murray's been on a tear this whole run, and especially in this series, he's been doing his thing. He just dropped 37. Incredible. He dropped a lot of those points in the first half, and I really thought he was going to end the game with around 50. Jokic, on the other hand, he's been playing well, of course, the entire playoff run. This was not the best game from him, only 25, 6, and 8, but that's still a decent performance. I expect more from him, but they pulled the W out because their role players also stepped up. Bruce Brown gave you 15, Caldwell Pope gave you 17, MPJ gave you 14, and I keep having to say this, Jokic is not carrying bums to the NBA Finals. This team has good players on it. Their role players are putting in pain, playing defense when you need them to score. They're there to score for you, and a lot of the time that does include Jokic setting them up, but you got to hit the shots in order for it to count as an assist. These boys are doing a great job of playing off of Jokic and Murray and coming in where they get in. On the other end, the Lakers, man, I really thought this series was going to be a lot closer in terms of the wins. The games themselves have been very close, but the Lakers haven't seen themselves pull one of these out. And one thing that's really frustrating for me, and I know it's frustrating for a lot of Nuggets fans and probably the Nuggets team as well, is the fact that they just went up 3-0. And instead of people praising the Nuggets for how well they've played for 3 games straight and the way that they closed these 3 games out, the first thing I hear is, what are the odds the Lakers come back 3-0? And my answer to that, obviously, is 0. They have no shot. Realistically, I see a lot of people saying LeBron has a fire under his eyes. He looks like he's going to come out ready next game. I haven't seen LeBron do that too many times this playoff run. To look at LeBron's press conference and base your entire opinion on the rest of the series on LeBron saying that he thinks he can make history is bogus. I've seen LeBron make history. He's not doing this. When LeBron makes history, he's been on his P's and Q's. LeBron just hasn't looked like himself. I said this last video as well. He looks old. He looks run-of-the-mill. He doesn't even look average. He looks below average right now for his standards. He does. I'm not going to say that he's playing terrible because he's not playing terribly, but he's just not LeBron. We need LeBron to be LeBron in order to pull these games out, and I guarantee you that they'd at least have a single game right now if LeBron could play up to his standards. Austin Reeves has been coming up big. He's had a lot of 20-plus point games. You've also had a couple of those games from Rui Hachimura. And when they're scoring over 20, you kind of need your stars to just pick up the rest. You need LeBron and AD to just pick up the rest so y'all can pull out these wins. But if you don't do it, then it's just not going to happen for you. They've relied on their role players a lot during this playoff run, and it's very evident. You saw that in the Memphis series. You saw it in the Golden State series. It didn't feel like LeBron versus Steph. It didn't feel like LeBron and AD versus Ja. It felt like the Lakers versus the other team. It feels like the Lakers role players are doing a lot more than we expected them to do, and honestly, they're doing a great job, but it's because LeBron and AD aren't picking up their end of the deal in some of these games that they're not pulling them out. LeBron's supposed to be barreling inside, getting the contact, getting at the rim, because that's his bread and butter, possibly even the mid-range, but I don't really like seeing him chuck up these threes. It looks like he's playing a more passive version of his game, and that's not really working for the Lakers right now. All in all, as much as people are complaining about us getting a Miami Heat versus Denver Nugget final, I think there's going to be some great basketball played in that series. I don't understand how you watch these two go through their entire conferences and don't want them in the finals. People complained about how redundant the finals were getting when it was just Cleveland versus Golden State for like 4 years straight, and now that we're getting new matchups almost every single year, people are still complaining. Nobody hates the NBA more than NBA fans. I'm just saying, because there's no way you're complaining about this right now. You saw the Miami Heat go through the Milwaukee Bucks and the Boston Celtics. No disrespect to the Knicks, but we didn't expect much out of them. The first and second best teams in the conference both got downed by the Miami Heat, and you're telling me you don't want to see them in the finals. And I feel like a lot of it is coming from the Denver Nuggets side as well. I feel like more people want to see the Heat than people who want to see the Nuggets. But even the Nuggets, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic are one of the only duos in this playoff run that are averaging plus 25, both of them. That's incredible scoring from both of them. I want to see them in the finals. I think that would be some great entertaining basketball. The way that they're killing the Lakers right now, I'd love to see them go back and forth with the hot Miami Heat offense. I think NBA fans should be more grateful that we're getting good basketball instead of nitpicking the teams that get to the finals, because we're going to get a great matchup. I hope everybody enjoys the basketball. And that's it for this podcast. I hope you enjoyed my takes. I hope you liked what I had to say. You know what I'm saying? Leave a like on that video if you liked it. Make sure you hit that sub. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one.